Everything's looking pretty rosy, I would say, for you right now, and I'm not talking about this meeting room at Sauber HQ in Hinwil.
Yeah, I mean it is definitely a special part of my career at the moment. Obviously, I've been announced as the 2019 Ferrari F1 driver, so it is something extremely special that I've always dreamed about. Since child, I've always dreamed of being, first of all, in Formula One, and to be now announced as a Ferrari driver is something extremely special.
The Charles Leclerc story is one of the most captivating, inspirational, and tragic stories in all of sports. His rise to the top of the pinnacle of motorsport has been thrilling to watch, but devastating to endure. In this video, we will look deeper into his journey and show the whole world why he's destined for greatness. What's up guys, it's your boy BMPHF1 here, and before we get into the video, I just wanted to thank all the new subscribers and viewers that I gained from my last video covering Alex Albon. You guys really enjoyed it and I'm so grateful for all your support. If you haven't checked it out already, there's a link up here and I'll put one in the description below. Also, I'm uploading videos once or twice a week on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and turn on bell notifications because we have some brilliant driver stories coming out in the future. So today, we're back with another driver story, and this time, we have the Ferrari driver from Monaco, Charles Leclerc. So without further ado, let's get into this. Charles Leclerc was born on the 16th of October, 1997. His karting career from 2005 to 2012 was the closest thing that I could find to perfection, as he won the French PACA Championships 3 times in 2005, 2006, and 2008. He became the French Cadet Champion in 2009 before being promoted to the KF3 class in 2010, where he won the Junior Monaco Kart Cup. Leclerc continued to race in KF3 for 2011, and yet again he won more titles such as the CIK FIA World Cup, the CIK FIA Karting Academy Trophy, and the ERDF Junior Kart Masters. After that, Leclerc advanced to KF2 in 2012 and won the WSK Euro Series title. And then, in Leclerc's final year of karting in 2013, he won the South Garda Winter Cup and finished second in the CIK FIA World KZ Championship behind Max Verstappen. Throughout his karting years, Leclerc's godfather Jules Bianchi acted as an incredible mentor for him, and they developed an inseparable relationship. In Leclerc's last year of karting, Jules signed his first F1 contract with Marussia, and his F1 career was starting to take off. 2014 proved to be another successful year for Leclerc as he moved up to single-seater racing. He raced in the Formula Renault 2.0 Alps Championship and took 7 podiums, including a double win at Monza. In that championship, he managed to finish second behind Nick de Vries and won the Junior Championship in the final race in Jerez on October 5th, 2014. But his triumph turned out to be very much bittersweet. On lap 42 of the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix, Adrian Sutil aquaplaned into the barriers at the top of the Dunlop curve. 1 lap later, Jules Bianchi horrifically collided with the rear of the tractor crane that was lifting Sutil's car out of the barriers. The marshals rushed over to Jules to check if he was okay, but they got no response. Then his race engineers tried getting through to him. Still, nothing. After the race, Jules was rushed to hospital and underwent an operation to reduce the severe cranial bleeding he suffered from the crash. With Jules in critical condition, Charles was overcome with distress and restlessness as he and Jules grew up together, and now his godfather needed a miracle to save his life. All Charles could do was stay strong and pray that Jules would make it through. So in 2015, Charles joined Formula 3, racing with a Dutch team called Van Amersfoort Racing. For round 1 of the season, in Silverstone, Leclerc started on pole for the second and third races of the weekend after Felix Rosenqvist was disqualified for a technical infringement. He took his first win at the third race of the weekend and finishing ahead of Antonio Giovinazzi and Jake Dennis. In the following round at Hockenheim, he finished on the podium in all 3 races of the weekend and finished first at the third race of the weekend. He then scored his 3rd win of the season at the first race in Belgium, which catapulted him into the lead of the championship, but he only managed to finish 4th overall in the championship because of the damage his car had sustained after a collision with Lance Stroll in Zandvoort. But just 5 days after the 3rd race at Zandvoort, Jules Bianchi tragically passed away. The entire F1 paddock, including Charles, were devastated. Words couldn't even begin to describe the despair Charles must have been going through at this point. Most other drivers would let such a dreadful loss overwhelm them and cause them to give up on their hopes and dreams, but not Charles Leclerc. Even through all the adversity, he marched on like a warrior to pursue his F1 dream. In February 2016, Charles joined GP3, signing with ART for that season. He won 3 feature races in Spain, Austria and Belgium and finished on the podium in Silverstone, Hungary, Germany and Malaysia. At the final race in Abu Dhabi, he managed to secure the championship even after retiring in the final race of the season, as his main championship contender Alex Albon retired from both the feature race and the sprint race. Still mourning the death of his godfather and longtime friend Jules Bianchi, Charles graduated to Formula 2, racing with Prima. During this season, Leclerc presented his driving prowess as he was completely in a league of his own. In Leclerc's debut race in Bahrain, he took pole position for the feature race but only managed to finish 3rd. Then for the sprint race, he started 6th on the grid and by the 2nd corner, he'd already moved up into 3rd. Then the safety car was brought out as Norman Nato crashed out on the first lap. On the safety car restart, Leclerc spectacularly overtook Alex Albon around the outside of turn 4, and on lap 9, he took the lead from Luca Ghiotto into turn 1. From there, Leclerc set absolutely rapid lap times and pulled out a 9-second lead over Oliver Rowland, but on lap 15, he decided to come to the pits for a change of tyres. In an F2 sprint race, this is very unusual and very risky as he came out in 14th place with 8 laps to go. And then, Leclerc started driving out of his mind. Within just 8 laps, Leclerc jumped from 14th to 1st and won in spectacular fashion by overtaking Luca Ghiotto on the final lap. The following race in Spain, he took pole position and held off Luca Ghiotto again to take a 2nd consecutive win despite having a radio issue. Another pole came in Monaco, but he retired from the feature race with a suspension issue. But for round 4 in Azerbaijan, his father sadly passed away after losing a battle to a long-term illness just days before the weekend. Charles started the weekend on a low as he struggled throughout practice, but in qualifying, he stormed to pole by over 0.5 of a second. He dominated a very hectic race full of crashes and red flags. Despite everything going on around him, he managed to maintain focus and composure to take the win and the fastest lap. He dedicated his stunning drive to his father, who, like Jules, taught him everything he knew. For the next 2 races, Leclerc dominated both qualifying sessions, taking pole position. This meant that he had scored 6 consecutive pole positions, a feat only achieved by Stoffel Vandoorne in 2014 and 2015. He won the feature race in both Austria and Britain, and at one point during the race at Silverstone, his car set alight and one of his wing mirrors detached in the closing stages. At round 7 for the weekend in Hungary, Leclerc made history as the first driver to take 7 consecutive poles in Formula 2. Unfortunately, this was short-lived as he ended up being disqualified for a technical infringement. But he went on to take another pole at the following weekend in Belgium. For the penultimate race in Jerez, Charles took pole position once again and won the race by 0.2 of a second to secure the 2017 Formula 2 Championship. To round off a spectacular season in Formula 2, at the final race of the season, Leclerc overtook Alex Albon on the last lap to claim his 7th win of the season. Unsurprisingly, he was called up to Formula 1 to race for Sauber in 2018 alongside Marcus Ericsson. As we know from Formula 2, Leclerc in qualifying was ridiculously fast, and this proved to be the case against Ericsson as he won the qualifying head-to-head 17-4 with an average gap of 0.5 of a second. He also finished higher in the championship with 39 points compared to Ericsson's 9. And as for his 2019 season, well, I think it's better if we explain it this way.
But Charles Leclerc can now see the checkered flag, and for the first time ever, Charles Leclerc wins a Formula 1 Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Leclerc gets away well. Charles Leclerc has come brilliantly. He won in Spa. He wins in Monza. Charles Leclerc is the winner of the 2019 Italian Grand Prix.
Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you're new to enjoy plenty more driver stories in the future. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.